Okay, so this is the teaching station. Could you demonstrate how that is lowered and raised? This would actually replace the lectern.
So this is the AirTouch table. It's on casters, so it can be moved anywhere within the room. And then on this side, there's a lever.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Lower it. That's cool. So it does meet ADA.
Gotcha. Kind of like those lecterns with the
Absolutely.
hydraulic lift, okay.
Yeah, that's good for accessibility.
Absolutely.
Now, where would your technology go? Is that it, the key?
No, the technology is housed in there. Rudy's gonna come and explain.
everything.
But we have a document camera up there.
Okay.
So that's convenient, you know.
Ooh, a recessed one. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
No PTZ.
I love it.
And then-
A recessed doc cam. Does it have good quality or?
It's pretty good. It autofocuses. You'll see. He'll demonstrate some. This keyboard is for Mac or PC. It's solar based. This is battery. You know, the mouse and the. But a lot of times now, faculty are using the smart board, and they're just like actually using just their hands to manipulate
That's
things
Hank
without a
Bieber.
keyboard. Because you can call up a electronic
Kevin.
digital keyboard.
Up there, I
With
think
the smart,
it's the
yeah.
Notebook, I think, is the software program, or
Yeah.
one of many of the
Yes,
software. Notebook,
yes.
yeah.
And if you like, I can send you our, I think it's an hour video that Jessica, the rep. had set
Okay, we'll
up
look at some
for
of these
smart boards.
chairs.
I can
And this
send
would be a
that.
student table.
It was specifically for this one. Yeah. So, take a seat. And this Extron system was
You got a
built
place you
on,
could put books and stuff underneath there, you know?
Yeah, perfect place for books.
Guys that have hats, you could throw the hat down.
That's good. Yeah.
This is great. So
Okay, which room?
so she said all the, well, he's gonna give us a tour, but
Short throw projector here, right? Goes on the smart board. That's where you get the interactivity. A little on the pricey side, actually. This setup's about $8,000 at least.
8,000.
About 8,000.
I heard they had a boat.
On the smart.
But it is nice, actually. Our TVs this size, believe it or not, they actually are interactive. So,
This one?
believe it or not, they do. Our TVs now that I've seen them like it. Well, they have one at Sharp actually, work. But interactive TVs might be another option if we're going for a central display. This is nice, actually. Short throw projector. Because it's a short throw projector, it's specialized, so that's what makes it a little pricier.
So it doesn't have to be 11 to 18 feet from the front like the ones we currently have?
Yeah, in fact, this is just like 3 feet from it. Takes up a lot less space, so it's actually all part of the same system where it comes with this one.
That's perfect. And this is just a typical, what, 60-inch LCD? Because she said all your data would go there, so you have one TV there,
Yeah, it's 62, I think, right on this one.
62. So basically, there's one in each corner.
Yeah. From the looks of it, yeah, it's going to use Apple TV. So what it is these things probably have Apple TV receivers on each TV, and because it's Apple TV, you can probably set it from like an iPad to each individual TV.
Seeing if we could just get into the iPad classrooms, like we have a laptop classroom in 432. A lot of the K-12 schools have. It's because a lot, the LA district had a lot of classrooms too, but a lot of them have strictly iPad classrooms.
Apple TV is pretty simple, right?
So is this Vadio, is this the controller here? This, because we have a Vadio at my church, but we use it with our robotic
That's a good
cameras.
one. I'm not even pretend to know what that one is, right? I'm trying.
It could be a controller, but I've never seen one that looked like
Audio
that.
camera back there. So it already has some presets on it. So this would probably be for video conferencing. That's nice.
Kevin, hey,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. I'll let you know. We're just chit-chatting.
Yeah, James gonna stop by. Hey, Hank, I'm ready.
I'm Charlotta.
Nice to meet you.
Was that
I'll see
Car-
you.
okay.
Carlos?
Okay.
Nice seeing you.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
you'll really like the new room that he's gonna show you.
Ah.
His crew.
I want to get this
built
Vadio
that.
camera real quick.
Okay.
James will
Thank
stop by in
you.
a few. I just went over to unlock the door so we can just kind of transition over really quick.
First of all, thank you.
No problem.
Really do appreciate it.
No problem.
Vadio doc.
So I'm not sure where exactly you guys, I was kind of brought into the conversation. used it and how they got frustrated. So the main brains of this room all lies in here, and the biggest takeaway for this room is the matrix system that's involved in here, because we wanted to mix and match all the video sources, so we can actually send an iPad to that TV, to multiple iPads to another TV, or if a student is plugged into the wall, we can send it throughout the room or to a specific TV in here.
What was one of the points of frustration for the faculty, from a student's perspective? When you
I think it was just mostly it was the training.
Okay.
You know, we provided training a week before school, but like James said, I think following through, like the first week or two, was frustrating for them, because they walk in, now you
These are
have
for the
a
different-
full class.
Mac.
all
Metric
eyes
switcher
on
right
you,
here is
and
what this
then
is
you
called.
forget
So this is
which
what switches
buttons
like
to
between
press. You have to
like if you're here and you want to switch from what's here to over
They
there.
were
That's what it is right
basically
here.
hand
Okay,
selected
complicated.
by James and Mark Passer, and
So it still
they
uses
weren't
the
really. You can't really. Our general assignment, this is not part of our general
VHS and
assignment
DVD, so I
classroom.
guess faculty over at
So if
State
you
are
ask
still
for it.
using those too?
So you can ask for it. So if you come in and say, hey, I would like to teach in this room or in that room,
Let me see if I
you
can
have to
find
fill out an
it.
application, and then.
So they were just throwing a load out like me for
These are the
Yeah, yeah. So you have to get some special training
iPads.
here.
There's
The
a
other
total of
frustrating
40
part of this room
iPads,
was the
20 per
layout and
cabinet.
design of our touchscreen here. Now you guys take a quick look at
And
this
of course,
one,
they
and
are
then
under
look
lock
at the
and
other
key
one
when
I
the
will
class
show
is
you.
not in session. I think
We
this is
kind
a
of
wonderful
put a lot more
idea.
thought into it. We actually now have our instructional designers help us out with the layout as well, because this was really more in the mind of an engineer. It was designed this way. The complexity of the matrix system is what kind of throws people off in here.
How about having your back turned and trying to figure this out while the students are?
Most of the time,
Yeah.
what they do is they get it going one way, and then they don't move out of that. Which is part of what James was saying, is if you provide the right and appropriate training, you can show them what exactly you can do as you're teaching.
And minimize that frustration.
And minimize
'cause we
that
saw that
frustration.
even with the smart boards
Yeah.
that we've been installing.
Yeah.
The teachers get frustrated, or the faculty get frustrated, and then they're calling the AV techs to
Yeah.
help them out on the first day of
Yeah.
school.
And the room is underused then, right?
The room is a little underused, which is, I was gonna say, if you train them right, it's the only way they can maximize the technology in here, which is really great. The class that I took was pretty awesome, because we broke out into tables, into each TV, and then we were analyzing an article, and then we would take our article, we would project it throughout the entire class. Like, then again, it was a learning design technology class, and so my professor really wanted us involved.
Can I ask another kind of silly question?
No,
I
no
came in and
such
noticed
thing.
that, the floor is pretty slick, and I sat down, and I
Yeah.
rolled away.
Oh, yeah.
So is the table, is that a consideration when, for the flooring, for example? Would you do
Yeah.
something a little tackier to kind of prevent things from rolling around too much, or?
Yeah, part of it was also like a budget thing.
Yeah, sure.
To add more material on it, so we kind of it was actually pretty expensive to buff it out. So, and you can tell like there's actually cracks in here that was not repairable, and so we had to kind of leave it.
There's a little bit, there's carpet, yes. I mean, I want the mobility, but I want people to like put their stuff down and.
The other issue with the carpet is we were promoting people to bring in their food and drinks. And with the carpet, there's a lot more cleaning involved. So
All right.
with the facilities, you have to schedule them, and we really don't have, we don't allow facilities to get in here for cleaning because of security, and nothing's really tethered down, locked, or
Oh.
alarmed in here. It's only by our swipe access and our own key. Yeah. Somebody calling you for a computer issue, and then now you gotta go fix the table. So,
You're not tethered.
I love that.
They're not-
You can just move that out of the way and do a dance.
yeah, in the smart classrooms, they are tethered.
Yeah.
Because of our document camera. So what happens is people will lean against it, sit on it, and then they bump it out of alignment. And some professors don't know that it's out of alignment, so they complain.
Then the next time, like.
I only have half of it in it. It's like, well, because somebody moved it, so that's why we started tethering it.
And this isn't recess.cam, so
Yeah,
it's
all
not.
of our smart classrooms have a recess document.
I love it.
HD cam or just standard?
This is the large ones are HD, and these are just VGA.
This is capturing video lecture possibly?
So this, yeah, you can capture it, but right now we're only using it for like a web conference, so it's an expensive webcam, and it follows you, it tracks you with the medallion, and so it just tracks you around. But it can easily be added to our like a media set recorder, which we have around campus.
So that's robotic?
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So that's the Bodio controller, this is what?
So we have two, yeah, we have a couple presets there. If you don't want to use the medallion, you would hit the presets. And then if you wanted to track you, you just put this around your neck.
Oh, get out.
And so it's infrared, and it's tracking that infrared signal.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect.
Nifty.
I like it. Now, I know he said grants and things like that were available. Is there like a ballpark estimate of what this kind of a setup?
For this setup here, because there was a lot of infrastructure involved, like that door was actually furred out. We added,
Okay.
we wanted more natural light come in. The windows were added. This here was like probably one of the biggest expense.
Marble?
No, just to cut it out
Oh.
to add. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. RCP brick.
So as far as cost, let me see, how do I put this? Not for the reconstruction or anything, but just for the equipment.
Just for the equipment
For the
itself.
equipment.
And the
I
infrastructure.
have paperwork on it. I kind of want to say about anywhere between 60,000 just for equipment in here.
That includes the furniture?
The furniture.
Please.
I can get you exact numbers and I'll email it to you.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That
That
would
way
help.
I
That would
don't.
be
Yeah, I don't want to
fantastic.
scare you.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, you're already
overprice
too
or
late.
ballpark, yeah. But yeah, it was pretty expensive. The Matrix itself is like between 15 to 20 grand.
This one right here on the wall.
This guy here.
The actual switcher right there, yeah.
Was that built into any kind of line item or general funding, or was it a grant, or? do you remember?
No, I think that was our department funding that we used in here, yeah. And it's the
Switcher design,
refund that kind of affairs.
for what we're doing.
Yeah.
Basis, like cut that figure in half, it's still.
Yeah, because you can put in the one that you actually need in each one of these racks, just like the inside of a computer,
Yeah,
correct?
this is about an $8,000 part right here, right? But extra makes different kinds depending on how media, what you really need to do. So the cost can come back on it. There's probably more switchers here than what we would really need for base right there. This is probably expensive. I mean, right here, it's a PC, Mac. The actual computers are right there. That's probably pricey.
But we could get by with a laptop if the budget wasn't.
Some of the other classrooms just have a Mac and PC, the small boxes available. They just throw them in there versus something like that. But this is cool.
I love it, I love it. If you got the money, hey.
It's so hard for people to say hard because how can you mess it up? It's just so basic. Like, I don't know what to
Bad
do.
PC, but. Paul, can you give me some
So
information
this is
on
called a
one?
huddle board.
Oh, okay.
Is there a brand name?
Huddle.
I'm sure there is, and what is it? Oh, Steelcase.
I
should have known
love
that.
it.
Yeah. So Steelcase is it's one of our nice providers here, or vendors that we go through a lot.
So it just
What
goes
people
in
do
there.
is either use it as a part of your collaboration team, write on it. When you guys are done, you can either hang it. It's really nice
I love it.
and light.
This up.
Or what other people do is you write on it and then you use the document camera. And so now you have a big whiteboard surface to write on.
Would you put them on all the walls, or just, is there any reason why you only put them on 2 walls?
Yeah, again, this room is really just for experimental.
sure. The shakedown.
But yeah, we would probably do them throughout
Yeah.
the entire room.
Like maybe one per TV,
Yeah.
LCD,
Exactly.
that's what I
Yeah.
would recommend.
Yeah.
Perfect, I like that too.
Yeah.
And but I love the concept because you don't have to
Super
have the flip chart,
Perfect, yeah.
the markers.
Yeah, I love this. I
Yeah.
already messed with it, yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
super light for the size that it is.
Yeah.
And it's by Steelcase, they've been around for a
So I'm
while.
thinking the furniture is also still case then.
Maybe.
Steel furniture, it might be Steelcase, yeah. And James has more information on that. The other furniture over there is computer comfort,
Okay.
which is a lot less expensive.
Good to know.
What-
And it's good. It's good furniture.
I see you've got the VGA connections, so for a laptop that could go into those.
In this room, we still have VGA. The other room has HDMI, and so it's a good 12-foot cable that goes over to the table here.
And those are also on Wi-Fi, I suppose, too, or you have internet access?
They have Apple TV.
Apple TV.
Yeah, so that's why we have a label here for TV too. So the Apple TV name is Apple TV 2. So if you're here, it'll pop up. It'll generate a list of the Apple TVs in this room only. And that was another hurdle. I'm sorry.
What classes are scheduled in here?
It varies. There's RWS. There's physics, chemistry. Math professor, I believe, is in here.
With regard to the furniture?
We really wanted. I kept telling James, the tables, having them too flexible was being, just organizing the room. People not really taking advantage of it. An instructor saying, the tables are movable. Why don't we just create a big circle and collaborate on this topic of this article? So that's one of the reasons why we went to a static table. It fits 45, so it's 3 per side. It's a little tight for 3, which is why we left it for 2 right now, just because of the type of
We'll have 25
courses.
students per classroom in the ones that we're doing.
So you can do, it's really more than enough room for 2 people per side.
So you can pull those tables out if you want?
No.
Oh, you cannot.
No.
They're
You
stationary.
can. We actually order them to be moved, but what happens is you add another leg to each side, which then removes leg room.
Right. It's like the hydraulic pump, right? Anything you
Yeah.
add to is going to be
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah, so.
Very comfortable up here.
Get used to it.
Are you going to be teaching adjunct here? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Let's get that part right, shall we?
Chris.
Good save, good save.
Yeah.
Ooh, now this is
So these
serious.
TVs, these TVs are a little bit bigger than the other
A
room.
little. So what's the purpose of this one?
So this guy here, so this eventually in the future, what I see is going to be our sole podium where everything's going to live. So it's a symposium. It's the same thing that what you guys
Oh,
have.
we have the small version.
You guys have the small version. This is the supersized me.
Oh,
It's
Carlos.
55 inch.
Carlos.
I have to bring something to Charlotta's attention. In every classroom on campus, or I shouldn't say all of them, but most of them, this is on it shows up.
It should be.
Okay.
I love it. I'm taking pictures. I'm videoing. Perfect. This is a giant smart board.
And we always design with ADA behind, and so same thing with the AirTouch tables. They go up and down for the same reason, because not because you're handicapped, but
Look at
some
the
people
picture
are
of me
just
with
taller
this
than
one.
others. and shorter than
I
others.
want this.
Same thing with this guy here. This is actually on a hydraulic stand.
Oh my God.
Check that.
Oh my
So
God.
this is making you guys drool.
And
Yes,
so
it
you
is.
can go.
We are
you can go
drooling.
back and forward.
We are drooling.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons why you wanted to go back is because you don't want to hide behind the TV.
Exactly.
Man, that clearance is right on.
It's right on.
It's
yeah.
right there.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
This is pretty much maxed out.
Wow.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
We initially thought it was going to be a straight shot layout
But it's
here,
on the
but at the
neighbor.
very end, when I was starting to
And
kind
there's
of
storage down.
make, to start messing with the computers here, I found myself kind of hard going this way and then looking at the monitor.
Yeah.
This way, it's more of a kind of a little bit more
Absolutely.
ergonomic as possible, right?
Okay. So you can give us a quick demo of how you would
Yeah.
utilize that?
So you can either draw on it, and then it gives you,
That's like us.
Yes.
or you can actually go by.
It's like the Big Mac version.
Yeah, you can actually go by software and draw on it, and it actually will save it as well. On top. So if you have a slide, like a
See, that looks
PowerPoint
nice there.
slide, you can actually annotate on top of
And then you
it.
can save it.
Save it.
You can save it. There's 2 ways of going about this. Either you just use your fist and you just start erasing, or you can just use the eraser. Yeah. Or another little cool feature is you kind of go around this way and then you just bump it and it erases the whole thing.
Seven.
So, and that's all about training,
Yeah.
it's just getting people used to
But
it.
that is critical, and more than that one session the first week of school too.
Yeah, and so,
Ongoing training.
We have the small ones in the math and science building
And in the design center.
and in the design center.
And
I always
so-
forget about design.
Well, they, yeah, but they
So
had,
far.
they were like.
Regular LCD screen, yay big, right?
you got
Still go in
the
and
quick
all this stuff.
buttons here for, you know, just for the quick color changes. And then you can either export it, you can record yourself. Well, what we've been doing campus-wide is we use Camtasia Relay. For this room, you would just record yourself. Anything that you do on the desktop computer is being recorded, and then you can either upload it to Blackboard and then share it that
You
way.
got that already?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I wish we could have
No,
done
when-
ED classes in a room.
This guy here runs about a little close to $10,000 with the hydraulic stand. The TV itself is about $7,000 or $8,000, and the stand is the other change.
Chop change, okay.
Yeah. And so,
That's what program review is for.
so when James mentioned that when faculty see the technology and they take it back home, we now have an engineering professor who applied for a grant and provided this exact smart podium, and so now it's being used in one of our, I want to say like 100-seat room with 2 projectors, the podium and this guy on the side.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's about what?
And he teaches electrical engineering.
But I mean, the benefit of it.
The benefit of it.
Yeah, because the first group on our campus was the architecture group, so you know what kind of work.
Oh,
they do
yeah.
with the
So
blueprints and all
this
that.
idea came from an architectural firm.
Yeah, yeah. Because I had never heard of it until they requested, but then, like you said, they wanted it because they saw it,
Yeah.
but they didn't know how to use it,
Yeah.
and they expected him to support it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think we know how to use it yet either. So
And so you can use it, the cool thing is you can use it with your finger as well, and the symposiums that you guys have, you can't use
Can you
the finger.
keyboard on? I mean,
You
if
can
need to-
keyboard on it.
Yeah.
A cool feature with this keyboard, well, one of the issues was we were running into, I keep looking at Carlos because a lot of it comes back to the person who provides the training or the support, actually. So we went with rechargeable keyboards, you know, the AA keyboards. This guy's a solar keyboard, and so it's getting energized through the LED light in here. And so we
The
hope that it
battery
doesn't,
never
and the
dies.
battery never dies,
love
except
this.
for the mouse, which they haven't come out with the solar mouse yet.
this is so cool. I am drooling, Chris. Just so you know.
Okay, so this is the stuff right here.
The design on this is a lot easier. If you can tell, the other one was a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
So what you do now is actually you select the table, like let's say table 1 here. It's actually not gonna, well, you select table 1 and then it won't be able to, because everything's on the same.
Sure.
Let me see if I can change it out. And we have different image, and that way you guys can see how it changes. So I think the computers are probably asleep.
So if they were, whatever they're working on, it could be displayed, you could focus on the.
Inside each of the things are actually built in.
Yeah, so like right now, table 4,
Yeah.
there's an image up there, and I'll send that over to table 1.
Okay. So he's sending different images too.
See that?
So you can ask these guys to compare notes, so you're saying this, but you
Yeah.
guys are saying this, so
Yeah.
let's see what, have the.
And that again, what I've been doing is getting my staff more involved in the trainings, and so we're providing them a little bit more examples, like real examples. To say, hey, like, what class are you teaching? Oh, RWF. What if we have this cluster of table, pull up their homework assignment and share it with them, and they can. Yeah. Or go on, put your Word document on Google Docs, and then edit it live. Yeah.
Now, how come you chose that word rather than?
Again, we wanted something different. We didn't want to replicate that room, and so now we have that reasoning to compare and contrast. What's working and what's not. So here, the idea behind it is that each cluster can go up to a little whiteboard.
I mean, need technical
Compare sheets
assistance.
that was just kind of for
Thank you.
more space, because we had space. And then the front room whiteboard.
I wonder how that Just say go
Well,
to the website.
but even that could say, you know, trouble, you know, creating.
And relationship cost per room.
But.
This
Yeah.
one was a little bit less expensive, actually. Yeah,
We sent this
because
to
the
Kevin,
technology.
Can you send those numbers to Kevin?
Yeah,
too?
I can send those
Thank you.
numbers,
Yeah. The technology.
The technology is getting cheaper, and so our matrix system again, that's probably like the biggest expensive piece here.
This room was less expensive.
Oh, because it's an after.
Yeah.
I was thought, but it's post that.
Well, the technology is getting cheaper too, so I require less boxes.
And you learn.
Yeah, we learn.
Don't need this, don't need that, switch this out with that.
Oh, cool feature. Electric screen. Must have electric screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just kidding about the must have part, but
No, I brought
makes
that to
things.
Tim's attention, so like, we're going to.
Yeah.
We also have, with Extron, we have an app where you can control it, so that way you're not tethered to the wall. So in this case, we have the room 1112. And so here's the controls. And you can walk around and you can control the room as you go.
Carlos, is that for you or what?
I was going to use it one time, but I decided against it right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But, you know, it does work
No
pretty well.
iPad
I've seen it
in
in
this
action. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
There were any iPads here?
No,
No.
this is the only iPad for the instructor, just for control purpose.
We don't, 4 of them.
Yeah, 4.
Because the thing is, what we've been seeing is all the students are bringing their own devices.
BYOD. Yep.
And this is why we went out of our way to provide these hookups. And so we also have the adapters, which are, I think, are still in my office. And so we provide the Thunderbolt adapter for the iPad with the newer iPad, and we also have like a VGA adapter if need be, if you have an older laptop or an older device.
One thing I would change personally, I think the whiteboards out, put those.
The ones from, what do you call them, hubbies? Huddles,
Yeah.
not hubbies, huddles. And those huddle boards might be less expensive, you think?
I thought my-
They're pretty expensive.
Oh, they
Pretty
are?
expensive.
Are they?
Yeah, huddles are pretty expensive.
Oh, I think they.
I think it's because of the name brand.
Really?
Someone else has got to make them.
Because of the convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought these guys were kind of expensive, the whiteboards.
Yeah, they're, I mean, I think we take whiteboards for granted sometimes, but they're pretty expensive. This actually was a mistake on the order. It wasn't supposed to be a 2-piece, it was supposed to be just one. Yeah, one on one, like that size over there.
But you guys just kept it, did they give it to you as a?
Well, I was in here up until Friday afternoon with our facility people, and just said, just putting it up together because we gotta start classes.
Well, so this
on
is
Monday.
brand new.
This is brand new, this is the
Wasn't here the
first.
last time up.
Yeah. So this is the end of the first week that people have actually been assigned to this room. So far, we've had really good feedback, especially that Monster TV. I think people are loving
We have
it.
RWS in this room.
We have RWS in here, we have Africana Studies, we have some teaching technology course in here. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that it still exists, and so they don't know about it, and they're not applying for it. So there's big gaps sometimes in between that we don't have courses in. Oh, yeah. We do it before, and then during the semester, we basically, people that have already been assigned, we basically just try to hold their hand as much as possible. But we don't provide like a workshop throughout the semester. Yeah, and so what we do is
Stimulating use in the room, advertising out on the campus.
we do a word by mouth, and then we also advertise, we're gonna start advertisement through our, it's called our news center. So they basically send out like a quick clip via email on our website, and that way everybody's hearing. And so James kind of, hand selects the people that are in there, because we want them
So say by the time they grow up and they're a teacher or whatnot, and they enter a room like this, they're gonna know exactly what to do.
room like this.
They already do. They could probably come in and teach a class and all the technology. But teachers, families, so we have our
Outreach, so.
Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of in-house residents, faculty,
Is it like
and they
this?
do a lot of marketing for us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The instructor, the instructor can also hook up here through the Apple TV or through that wall plate. We're providing HDMI and VGA.
Okay.
And so that's the only drawback that I kind of don't like because of the cable. These guys here is actually something that we came up with. Wolf Vision provides you with a more,
So that's Wolf Vision.
yes, Wolf Vision, yeah. They provide you a lot more expensive and a lot less surface area, but it's, what's that term that it's, when it's not glossy, it's
Matt.
matte. Yeah. So,
Sure.
the problem that I was having was that when people wipe it off, it either gets on the furniture or it doesn't completely wipe off. With this, all I do is just provide, and actually we're missing one, just a regular, like a shop rag, you know, the white ones,
Yeah.
the little
Oh, yeah,
towels.
yeah, yeah.
And it comes off with one swipe. And so people were actually complaining because they needed water and, you know, they wanted to clean it off, or the previous professor was a chemist.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, and they're left writing everywhere, and now you have an RWS professor, and now you're writing letters with the background of the chemistry, compound, molecules, and all this stuff. So
Interdisciplinary.
yeah. So actually, with this, we get in a big, huge roll, and then we cut them out to our size. Yeah. So you can see how this one wasn't
Yeah, it's-
too straight of a
Yeah.
cut, but
So it's not a permanent
Yeah, I thought it was set in.
adherence.
no, it's just adhesive. So again, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Once it wears out,
Yeah.
peel it off and put
I
another
would've
one.
shucked it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just time, it's a time saver for everybody.
I love this smart board.
Yeah.
This thing's not multi-touch, right? I can't do the expand the image routine.
You can do the pinch, but I think it's better used under the PC.
Mm.
Under the piece.
Under the PC, there's a special tool, I'll show you. There's a special tool that's called, let's see this guy. Display controller, deployment source. So this
I like
guy,
that screensaver.
so it's called Meeting Pro. And so it launches this special application, and this is what the architects were using, and so then now you can actually pinch it.
That was perfect for their classes.
Yeah, and I think you can rotate it too, once you have an object in here, probably.
So you said the architecture
yeah.
inspired this whole concept?
When we saw it, yeah, it was a demo being used by an architecture firm.
50.
So it's more like a
James usually provides a link to it too, and they actually are doing like 3D modeling, and they're actually pinching and rotating inside the environment.
the dim and the dim.
It's very calm in here.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a conducive learning environment. I want to learn.
This
More, show me more.
Yeah.
This room is on a raised floor
That's good.
that was already here, and so we kept it, and you can see the floor boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's something to keep in mind as you guys are designing from scratch. Do you want to go with floor boxes, or do you want cables like in this case, if it was just a concrete floor, you would probably have to come out with a wall.
No, we have
Or
four
cord.
boxes, and that's taken into consideration
Yeah.
at the design.
Yeah.
And they did do the seal receptacle in this one.
Yeah.
So this, it's okay now?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, well, it has to be flush to something. So this is up to code, and so the receptacle is on that peerless plate, but it cannot be above the ceiling.
Oh, I got you. Can't be on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, unless it's like an enclosure box, like the screen, it's part of a box that's, you can't tap into it.
Alrighty, that's good.
Speakers, the other thing that I've kind of been wanting to upgrade more are the speakers. These ceiling speakers are great, don't get me wrong, but they're really meant for more PA. And what I want to add for my future learning spaces is to put a speaker that has a little bit more kick to it, more low end. So when you play, when you have different courses in here, like a TFM, music, you know, you can actually enjoy the
Quality sound.
quality of the sound a
and
little
hear the
bit better.
different instruments.
Yeah,
It
the
doesn't sound
different
so
instruments.
tinny.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
The volume
Sounds like a little
from the
tweak.
wall back there, the volume adjustment? is
The
from
volume
wall?
adjustment's all there, all the controls are there. And the touch screen.
Wow.
So when you're
Okay.
playing something, yeah, So if you close this guy out,
See if they have
we should have it.
What it looked like.
Or you can just control it through this guy too. If I could be so kind of scared walking around with this. The comfort zone is just get me going, get me like PowerPoint going, and then I'll take it from there.
This is gonna be
Which is okay, and I think eventually
This is
they're going to evolve.
$12,000 projector. That's a really expensive screen. The TV. We're talking about 70,000.
Yeah, because they say only 60 for the lower, you know. Now, this is a 16.
I have a spreadsheet. Yeah, I'm sure I'll run it by James. I'm sure he's okay
16
sharing that, but I'm pretty detailed with my stuff, and I can share.
That's nice.
Most, if he approves it, I can share most of everything. You know, to
And they
the
got one big, big giant projectors again.
So this room, yeah, again, it's not. I think it was less expensive. We already had the chairs, the furniture we just bought, and this guy was one of the most expensive.
And really what we're interested in is
But you get paid for it.
Yeah.
That much.
And you probably get the same pricing that I have on there too, because that's all educational pricing.
Yeah.
So, and you probably, whoever your vendor is, like I went to CCS.
We have two vendors right
Okay,
now.
okay.
We had one vendor for the longest, but we brought in a second vendor to compare the prices.
Okay.
It's working.
Yeah, no sole source contracts, and then they can tell us, and we're stuck and bound by contract.
A little too
Yeah.
comfortable, a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got stuck with that with our last project with our new remodeled storm hall. I don't know if you guys remember that. That building out there, and actually had it because it was over $50,000. You get into all this drama, yeah. And luckily, I don't get stuck with all that. The financing part, you know, I just submit what I want, and I'll let James kind of deal with it.
So that's what I'm doing right now for a fitness center. I just sent out detailed packages to both vendors.
Yeah.
And they just sent back quotes.
Yeah.
So I have to go, cross compare to make sure they're quoting the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, and some of them, you know, you may probably get a better pricing, but then they're probably gonna get you like maybe in the labor part or
Yeah,
vice
yeah.
versa.
I had them in
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
But it always runs over.
No, yeah, the hours, it took
Hours,
me 2
yeah.
hours to plug that.
Yeah, yeah, because they always leave that part open.
No, they
You actually are closing it to make
Yeah.
sure that the project is done within.
Well, we try to.
Yeah. Because then they'll come up with a punch list at the end and say, yeah, we need a couple more hours or another week finishes.
They have to have someone to skate on them.
Yeah, that's the other issue, like, and that's me, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
That's me going out, yeah, when that building was being reconstructed, I actually had to be out there on work boots because they wouldn't allow me in there with a hard hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had to go out there making sure that the conduits are being run right. And sure enough, at the end, for somehow, even all the inspections that I did, there's still errors. You know, I said, I know, I want the floor box over here, not
Over
across.
there.
You do
Yeah.
have, yeah, you do have to say
Yeah,
that.
and you have to be there.
And then to change it,
Yeah.
well, for us, it's a change order.
It's a change order, yeah, and
Very
I fought that.
expensive.
I fought that, and I said, no, that's not a change order, and I need you to write it in an email, because I specifically, and here are my notes.
Yeah.
When I did the walkthrough, I remember you agreed to the.
You're good, Rudy, you're good, 'cause that's what you have to
So
do.
I try to be really, I take, you know, I use the technology, I use Evernote a lot, so when I'm out there, I'll take a picture, write my notes, and then I just kind of learned
Mhm.
the hard way.
We did after each meeting, we had all the faculty that were there to sign off.
Sign off on that
Sign off
design,
on the
yeah.
design, yeah.